I was stuck in survival mode, working, achieving, doing everything right, still waking up miserable every day. And it made me wonder, what if the biggest lie I was telling wasn't to anyone else but myself? I'll never forget the day when it was pretty much another day, right? Another typical day, which is kind of the sad part of going through a day full of meetings, packed full of meetings. And I don't know, it was not nothing special about this particular meeting and it wasn't like a hard meeting or a lot of things going on. It was like literally a typical meeting, but for whatever reason, I guess my soul had enough and I started to cry towards the end of the meeting. It was like literally tears just started to stream down my face. And then by the time the call ended, or was getting close to the end, it was like I had to literally like force myself to keep it, I felt, to keep it together. But once the call ended, and this was virtually because, I work from home, I've been working from home forever, clinical trial manager. I did that to get off the road from being a CRA, and it was like the worst, most challenging job ever. As I'm recording this video right now, technically I am still a CTM, but that is a part of also why I'm doing these videos as my YouTube channel because I also want to track my progress in my journey as I share this story of how you go from self love to purpose to prosperity. I want you to see in real time my journey too. So I wanted to get started before I even made it on the other end, so to speak. So as I'm recording right now, I'm still a clinical trial manager, and it has literally been like the toughest, the most challenging, the most draining job in my life. And I just completely broke down at the end of this call. Like when I say broke down, I mean just bawling like that ugly, like just got a whooping cry from, childhood with the switch, like the fresh tree switch whooping cry. Loud, the boohoo, the tears, like just broke down on the floor in my home office, y'all, by myself. And this had also kind of become a routine too, but it was like this day was, I remember this day specifically, the breakdowns wasn't new. But this day specifically that I'm describing was new, and I remember it distinctly because this was the day where I had like these downloads, this conversation with God, these downloads from God, this back and forth talk, and in my soul, myself as well. And it was like these light bulb honest moments. It was the moment, the day, the time where I got real with myself. Now, I had this wasn't like the very beginning of my self-love and inner healing and all that stuff journey. This was, I would say, I don't know, some years in, I had gone to therapy and tried the other things. If you are familiar with my story, tried the other modalities that I talk about in terms of my inner healing and my growth journey, my personal development journey, things like that. I had tried a bunch of other things before getting to this particular point. So definitely all those things contributed to the breakthrough. But this day I got, you know, before I had kind of, or at least before this day, I thought I was actually being real with myself. But this day, the level of honesty that I reached, the level of transparency and vulnerability that I got to with my own self took me to a whole new level. And that's when it was like, boom, you living a whole lie. You don't like your job, you don't like your career, you don't like the business that you created to help people get in this job. You are like, and it was just this whole stream of light bulb moments, and each one was like, huh, it's stabbing my heart. It was painful. I know I'm smiling now, but it was painful. It was rough, but it was necessary. It was required in order for me to get to the other side, to be here with you today, to share my story, to share my journey, to put my book out, Falling Madly in Self-Love. It was essential. And of course, in the process, that is not what I was thinking. I was definitely doing everything but thinking that. But I'm here to tell you now that it was all a part of the plan and this weird, non-mistaken, there's no way you can get off path type kind of way. And it's so crazy because I was one of those people that would be like, there's no way. And now I'm here to share and tell you, like, no, I am an example of a way. And I want to help you remember your truth and be honest with yourself so you too can remember and attract your way. It's been that powerful in my life. So I have a couple things here that I want to share with you that is a part of the self-honesty pillar in my book. Depending on when you're seeing this video, either I am in the process of finalizing and getting to publication, which right now we're shooting for 11/11, November 11, 2025. So it may have be in the process of being published or already be published. But I want to share a few notes from the self-honesty chapter as I share my story with you. When you ignore your truth, you betray yourself, and that betrayal builds until it spills over as burnout, emptiness, and resentment. And that was pretty much what I was experiencing that day, right on the floor. Like nothing extra had happened. It was just like my soul had had enough, like burnout. It was just too much. Resentment from day after day, year after year, time after time of saying no to what was true to me and yes to what I thought I needed to do, what I had to do, what was required in order to be successful. Self-deception feels safe in the short term, but it slowly suffocates your soul. You can't create a dream life while living a lie. And self-deception is what I talk about in this chapter, in this pillar, as the energetic opposite of self-honesty. When you are not practicing self-honesty, you're essentially by default living in self-deception. And there's no way any of us will ever be able to get to the truth of what our dream life is and our purpose and why we're here, which is to claim our God given birthright and to have and create and build and do and live all that is meant for us. There's no way we can get to that if we are not being honest with ourselves, which is by default living in self deception. Self honesty isn't about beating yourself up. It's about finally naming what's real, what hurts, what's misaligned, and what your heart actually desires. That's another thing, an important thing that I learned along my journey was that it's not about blame, shame, guilt, criticism, judgment, like beating yourself up. I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you went there. You said that. None of that. That is not what self honesty is about, but simply get into the truth of where there's misalignment from your dream life. That's what it's all about. As we come here, God created us. We came here, we chose to come here as spiritual beings on a human experience, a human journey to create beautiful, magnificent, glorious, wonderful lives. That's it. And we can't do that if we aren't being real with ourselves about what that truly looks like for us individually, independent of what our moms, our dads, our parents, our family members, our church, our school, our ancestors, our country, our kids, our job, whatever it is that's holding you back, insert it. Contrary, independent, whatever the shoulds, how it we think it's supposed to be, you can't create that if you aren't real with how you truly independent of all that feels underneath it all. And that's where self-honesty comes in at. And that's why I'm so excited that this is one of the 12 absolute self-love pillars that God allowed me to bring forth, to bring through, to transmit to the world as a part of how we create and manifest these dream lives and attract our purpose and live in abundance and create the prosperity we were all designed and created and meant to have. So, when I finally surrendered to honesty and started to get real with myself, it wasn't like a one and done thing. Trust me, there's times now when I'm still wake up and I'm like, oh, I didn't notice, but I've been walking in self-deception. It's an ongoing self-check. You know, it's not a here, one and done. So when I finally surrendered to self-honesty, I didn't have all the answers, but I had peace and I had a foundation and I had a place to start and I had hope. I finally had hope again. And that, if you've been in that space where I've been anyways, you know that is everything. That's everything. So I want to share a quick little practice here with you that you can do anytime at home, if you're at work having a tough time, if you're out in public, wherever you may be. I want to share a little practice with you so that you can use to help support you on your self honesty journey. In my book, I provide a lot more practices and I go a little bit deeper with the practices in my book. Every pillar, every chapter has a practice to help integrate everything that you learn. And as you get to know me, you'll notice that that's just a part of my teachings. I do like to always give you some type of practice to help integrate because these things we've been taught that opposite, that the internal work is like the simple frou-frou easy work and the external work is like the hardest, right? It's really the opposite as you find out. Or if you've been on this journey already, you already know the internal work is the hardest. It's the hardest. So I always like to include some type of practice. And now that I'm been working and practicing on energy healing and light work, I also like to incorporate activation energy healings as well to help integrate these teachings, these lessons. So here's a simple practice that I want to share with you to help you start or continue on your self-honesty journey. So stand in front of a mirror and just look yourself in the eyes, any type of mirror. Just look yourself directly in the eyes and say out loud to yourself, I love you. So for me, I love you, Jasmine. So I love you, insert your name. Say it out loud. I love you, Jasmine. I love you, Jasmine. Look directly at yourself in the mirror. I love you, Jasmine. Then pause, give yourself a moment of silence. You see me putting my hand on my heart like this. I instinctively do that now. I guess it's more of a somatic practice or a tool type of thing and connecting with your nervous system and things like that. So feel free to do that. One hand, two hands, play with it. See what feels comfortable for you. But take a moment, pause, breathe, inhale, sit with it, get silent, and then ask yourself, what truth have I been avoiding? What truth have I been avoiding? What truth have I been avoiding? And you may get nothing. It may be total silence at first. It may be blank at first. You may hear nothing. You might even start crying. Some emotions and stuff might start coming up. You might feel like this is stupid. You might feel like this is dumb. You might be like, why the did I listen to Jasmine? She's crazy. Got me in here in the mirror talking to myself, saying I love you. Trust me, I thought I was crazy the first time I did it. All sorts of emotions came up. It really took me several times to even work through it before I could even say I love you all the way and continue to look myself in the eyes without looking away. Like it was crazy that when my therapist had put me to to this challenge to give me this exercise, it was crazy to see how hard it was even to, just sit in the mirror and say, I love you, Jasmine. Wow. So all these things might come up, and trust me, this is normal. Trust me when I say you're doing it right. You're on track. You're doing well. And then if you want to take it a step further, after you take the space to ask yourself the question, what truth am I avoiding? Journal about it. Journal about it. Write it down. Don't judge it. Don't edit it. Don't overthink it. Just let it be. And that one simple act of honesty will open the door. Trust me, will that one simple act of honesty will open the door to healing and alignment. Just that one simple act of writing down your truth. So self-honesty is the doorway. You can't fake your way to peace. Trust me, I tried it. I tried it for years. You can't pretend your way into purpose. I tried that too. Trust me, for years. But when you choose honesty, even when it hurts, you give God and the universe and the angels and the whole host of the heavens, you give everybody, you give them all something real to respond to, something to work with. You tap into the quantum. So let me ask you, what's one truth you've been avoiding? And be real with yourself. Be real, 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 real with yourself. What's one truth you've been avoiding? Drop it in the comments below. And if this video resonated with you, subscribe so you won't miss the next self-honesty video I think I'm going to do, where I dive deeper into how self-honesty actually attracted my purpose and put me on this abundant, prosperous path, and go more into the details of how it took me from clinical research, science, medicine, and it's still underlying at the root what my soul is meant to be, which is to help people heal, but in a completely different way than I was thinking at first. So subscribe and make sure you turn on that bell so you can get alerted as I drop new videos, and continue to share my stories and continue to walk this journey with you. I want you to continue to walk this journey with me. I'm so excited. Can't wait.